Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Build a Quilt. I'm Diana. This is Friday's Coffee and Quilts Chat Live. Just a quick little chat, usually not more than 20 minutes at the most, unlike our Wednesday night lives that go for a full hour and we do a lot of stuff. This is kind of just a chit chat, a catch up kind of a thing. So welcome to you all. If you are joining us, please feel free to say hello in the comments. I'd love to say hello back to you. And yes, we are home of the Build a Quilt Patchwork in the Hoop system. And there is a big reason I wanted to come on today. I don't usually do these every Friday. I try to do them twice a month, but I really wanted to come on today, and I have a few things to share with you. But I wanted to come on and just say that my heart goes out to all of those along the southern East Coast and in the South that are dealing with the ongoing aftermath and ongoing process of Hurricane Helene. It was a whopper, and I've got my work shirt on. You all know I'm tearing down the studio, and I'll tell you more about that in a bit. But I was just listening to the news, the National Weather Service, and they were saying that most of the Carolinas, a good deal of the Carolinas, are without power today. And we know that so many people are caught up in historic flooding. And so I know that here at Build a Quilt, we have a lot of our supporters live down in the Carolinas. And so they may not be able to see this now and jump on and be with us today. But when they do see this, I want you all to know that you are in my heart, and I'm saying a prayer for you all, that you are somewhere safe. Things can be replaced, things can be fixed, but I just want to make sure that you are all okay. And I found a really cute little meme that if you're old enough to remember the Hobby Holly or the Holly Hobby dolls, they were like they were very similar to the Raggedy Ann dolls that I had when I was a little girl. But these looked like the Holly Hobby dolls, and the thing says virtually stitching together. And I just want you all to know that virtually I'm with you. You're in my thoughts and my prayers sincerely, because I know how horrible that type of thing can be. We live in a very tornado prone area. I've been in a couple of tornadoes that have been real whoppers. For a long time, Dave and I lived out on the West Coast and experienced earthquakes. And we did actually live in Pensacola, Florida for several years, many years ago when Dave was in flight training for the U.S. Navy, and we experienced a hurricane when we lived down there. And I didn't think it was all that bad in comparison to a tornado until you got out into town and saw all the massive flooding. Like downtown Pensacola was flooded for weeks before it all receded and got cleaned up. And it was pretty bad. And I remember all the guys had to fly the planes out and away so they wouldn't be caught up in it. It was a real doozy. So anyway, you are all in my thoughts today. You have been for a few days now since we knew that this was coming. But I just wanted you all to know that. And now I will share some things with you. Sorry, I got a hair in my face. So last week I shared with you all the IKEA video of the year. And I shared these boxes called Pansartax. There were in 3 sizes. This is the smallest size. It's a 6.5 by 6.5 inch cube. And I did a short on this, but I wanted to show you guys more closely. They have a lid, but look what fits into them perfectly. Look at all of that. I got at least 8 packs of my charm packs in here, and I have another big bin of them. So I'm going to be ordering some more of these so I can have all my charm packs in these, because they are literally the best thing I've ever found. And because they're deeper, a lot of little boxes you find are like this size, but because these are deeper, I was able to get all of these. And I think these were not horribly expensive. I think $6.99 maybe, I want to say. But that's what they look like. And so they're kind of frosted transparency. So you could kind of see a little bit through them if you wanted to put all colors in each bin. So Pansartax, and I'll put that information in the description for you guys. And then of course I told you yesterday started, let's see, yesterday, no, not yesterday. Yeah, I guess yesterday started the big, huge breakdown here of the studio. I've got my little corner for filming still set up, but it's probably coming down tonight so I can redo some stuff. But behind me is a huge room, and in that room, I took out and took enough crafting supplies to fill the back of my CRV with the seats down to the ceiling twice. Yeah, there was a lot. There's going to be a lot of happy crafters when they go to the Goodwill and find the stuff that I gave away. A lot of it was kits and things, or fabric and things, or supplies that I had duplicates of. I used to test, long before I ever created Build a Quilt, I used to test for a lot of companies, especially during COVID, and they would always send me extra product just as a thank you for doing their testing, which was great, but it really stacked up, and I didn't have the space for it. I need that room for Build a Quilt, for all my samples and all the fabric and some things that are coming in the new year that you all have been asking about. I need a place for storage of some things. And so that got torn down yesterday. I'm starting to rebuild it up. I'm redoing all of my threads now into cases. To be honest, because with Build a Quilt, I use like 3 really specific colors: white, a very light pearl gray, and that really light minty aqua. Those are like my 3 go-to colors. In fact, let me see. Do I have? Yeah, I have some of them right here. I can probably show you. I don't have the white, but you know what white is. That's the gray. I love to piece with it because it really sinks in and you can't see it. If any of your stitching doesn't get into your seam, and sometimes just a smidge will, you can't see this. It seeps right in. And then this is my favorite. Now, this is the glide version of my favorite. My real favorite, I think, is this it? Yeah, this is it. This is the one I like from Isacord, but the glide color is really close. So I have it in glide. I have it in this color from Isacord. And I also have a really close version, which is slightly darker, but it still works, from Designs and Machine Embroidery. So I now have a little case up there, and it has rows of this color and rows of this color and then rows of white, so that I can just get to them. And then all of my other colored thread I'm putting in cases and putting in storage, so I can just grab them when I need them for things. But because I don't use them a lot, they just get dusty, and I just need to dust them a lot when they were just all on the wall. So that's all coming down. And little does Dave know, but this weekend he's helping me take them all out and put them in color order, because I've just been putting them in the buckets right now. There's been so much going on. So if you could see this part of the studio over here, you would say, oh, part of it looks like it's all done and nice, and the rest of it looks like the hurricane hit it. It's just horrible. Welcome everybody. If you're just checking in with us, please say hello in the comments. I'd love to say hello and see who's here. And so that's all happening this week. I found some things that I forgot I had. Like, I have an extra pair of the Kimberbell socks from one of the Bella boxes, and these are like my favorite socks last winter. So now I have a second pair. I don't know how I ended up with a second pair, but now I've got a second pair. And I found a whole bunch of rolls of Kimberbell paper tape that I didn't know that I still had. So those are going in my paper tape bucket. I'm really trying to get things organized. And then in that IKEA video at IKEA, I also showed you some little bins like this that fit right on these pegboards. So the white part fits on the pegboard, and see the little slot there? You just slide this in, and this comes in a set of 3, and I think they were like $12.99, really inexpensive. So I have one over there that's got some clips in it, all kinds of stuff. And then they had these bins as well, these white ones. These were bought singly, but I still bought 3 of them. I always buy things in 3. Don't ask me why. I just do. But the other thing I found when we were there that day that I fell in love with, oh, that's just a clip. Okay. For these pegboards is for hanging up blocks and things so that you can kind of see them as you go, are these clips. They clip on to the back, and these are called, I didn't tell you this, I don't think before, these are called Skadis, 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 okay? So you get 2 white ones, and the nice thing I like is there are no little teeth in here, so they don't really rip or grip into your fabric, but they hold on really well. So you get either 2 white ones, or I don't know who came up with this color combination, green and yellow. This is a very, very light yellow. And I know it looks white or cream on the camera. It's yellow. But you get 2 of these, a green and a yellow. And I just got some of them because then I have colors. I got a couple of sets of those. So I could have 2 greens, 2 yellows. And then they had a pretty color. They have them in black too. I did not buy the black ones because I don't usually use black on the white boards. They have black pegboards as well. So that would have worked for that. But they have this light lavender color. Isn't that pretty? And there you've got the hook that hooks on there. Just like that. And they stay too. That's what that's hanging with as well. So I got a bunch of those, and I just keep them in one of these hanging here. Let me find a spot. I can't see. There we go. And then when I want them, I just grab them. So it worked out really well. So those were some other things that I talked about in that IKEA video that I wanted to show you. I told you I would show you some things. Oh, it's getting warm in here. Oh, speaking of that hurricane, we are actually under a high wind warning here in northeastern Illinois because of it. And tomorrow we're expected to get some of the rain from it. That's how far that storm is traveling. It's kind of incredible, but it's like really overcast and gray today. And the wind started picking up last night about 7 o'clock, and we're in a severe wind warning because of it until like midnight Saturday night into Sunday. Crazy. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you, and then, like I said, this is going to be a short one this week, was recently we started using the hexagon, making the hexagon, right? And you get it in 2 forms. You get the mosaic form, so you can make it as a mosaic, or you can just make a solid piece of fabric version. So you can do your full hexagon in 2 colors or 1, or I love this idea of doing 1/2 in the solid and 1/2 in the mosaic. I think that put together is going to make a gorgeous piece, and I'm going to be giving that a try. But Wednesday night at our Wednesday Night Live, and if you weren't with us Wednesday for workshop, please watch that video, because we had been talking the week before. Someone brought up the Friendship Braid, and you can make the Friendship Braid with 1/2 hexagons. So Wednesday night, I gave a little tutorial, a little quick tutorial on how to get that started and make them, and a couple of ways that you can use the braid. Because there's one way where you trim it into squares and one way where you just make columns. But this is what I started mine, and this is what mine is looking. I know it always looks like it's hanging funny, and that's because eventually you'll have to cut it to square it up. But that's what my braid looks like so far. And these fabrics, if you're wondering, were from Farm Girls Unite from Poppy Cotton. So they're a few years old. I know that occasionally I still see the Farm Girls Unite Poppy Cotton collection in the stores, but I had this because they had a big panel, and I used it to do some things around the panel and make a quilt out of it, but I still had enough of those left. I don't have enough to do a full quilt, but I think if I mix and match this with Lori Holt, and somebody suggested the other night some of my Kimberbell, then I can mix and match it and make it look intentional. And then I'm going to make a quilt. I'm going to make a column quilt out of mine, so it looks like one big braided piece, just kind of a throw quilt size. But I talk about all of that in Wednesday night's live version, or Wednesday night's workshop. So you can catch that, and I will, well, you can catch that, just it's in the live tab. And I think, y'all, that is what I wanted to do. Like I said, this is a quick one this week. I didn't have a lot, but I wanted to show you a few things. But most of all, I wanted to remember all of our friends that are in this hurricane, and remember, virtually, we're all with you. We're all stitching together. You're all in our hearts. And we hope that you're all safe and taken care of. And as long as you and your loved ones, pets, are safe and whole of body, then please be whole in mind and spirit, because all of the things can be done. I know it, if you've had damage to houses and cars and all that, I know that's going to be hard on you and it's going to be a stressful time. But those are things that will eventually work themselves out. We don't want to have to fix you. We don't want to have to fix broken bones or have people in the hospital or anything like that because of the storm. So I hope you're all safe and sound and whole. So everybody, thanks so much for jumping on, those that you jumped on with me today. If you need to contact me, you can always do that at support@sewincommon.com, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. If you're looking for our hexagon pattern, you can do that along with all of our other patterns and my blog over at our website, www.mybuildaquilt.com. If you subscribe over at the website, then you get notified when the blog comes out and things like that, which is at least quarterly. Sometimes I do a couple more than quarterly. And lastly, I'd love to ask you, if you're new and you haven't been with us before, please like, subscribe, and share the videos. That means the world to me. That's how we've built this community, because you guys have built it. I've just done the stuff and shown you the blocks and taught you the blocks, but you guys have built the community. You are the community, and that just thrills me to no end. So please subscribe, like, and share. I'd love to have you as part of the Build a Quilt family. And until next time, everybody, please take care. And remember that we're all artists in our own right as quilters. So let's go quilt life beautiful. Bye for now, everybody.